Hello, my name is Bernard, and this is the second episode of my walking and talking podcast. I need to come up with a name for it. What name should I come up with for it? Whatever. What name? My thinking, this might sound stupid now when I say it out loud, but my thinking is, nocturnal know-it-all, and the word nocturnal is spelt with like a K at the beginning. Like the word no, you know? Nocturnal. I don't know, that sounds kind of stupid now that I say it out loud. But, yeah, I've kind of become, like, literally nocturnal, so, ruh-roh. I wouldn't recommend messing up your sleep schedule, guys. That's not good for you. It's good to get sleep when it's dark out. Unfortunately, I might have been bitten by a vampire. I'm not really sure. I'll have to do like a blood test of some sort. Are there vampire blood tests, to make sure that you aren't a vampire? You aren't. Say it. I watched Twilight for the first time fairly recently. Not like super recently, but it was about a year ago that I watched Twilight for the first... No, it was actually the year before that. Oh my. Time is going by really fast. Yeah, I watched Twilight, and I worked at a summer camp, and the thing was that it was like a women's summer camp. Or girls, not women's. It was a girls' summer camp. There were not grown women going to camp. I'm sure that's a thing somewhere. No, that's what those, like... Have you ever gotten advertised those, like, psychedelic retreats where, like, you go to Oregon and then smoke DMT with, like, some kind of shaman-type person, but they're actually really not at all in any way associated with any kind of religion that involves psychedelics. They're just some person. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Like, you've gotten those ads. One of my favorite things to comment under those, because they always feel really like... oh, there are people. They always feel like scams. My favorite thing to comment under those is... The last time I went to one of those... Oh god, I'm still kind of socially anxious about the people. I'm scared. There are people. Okay, anyways. Yeah, the thing about those is that they are, like... I don't know, they're advertised in a way... It feels weirdly like a scam. And I know it's not, but like, I don't know. Anyways, my thinking about those, or the thing I comment, yes. The thing I comment is, last time I went to one of those, I came back and I get really bad migraines every time I hear the names of certain politicians and can speak fluent Russian, or something like that. I don't know. I'll comment something along those lines. Because that's funny, I have a general distrust in psychedelic drugs. I've never taken them, and I probably never will, because on account of their use in mind control. But, like, I don't know. Have you ever seen, like, my conspiracy theory that I have, is that in the 60s, they were like the FBI, the CIA, not the FBI, the CIA, 3 letters. The CIA was giving LSD, oh my god, 3 letters again, to hippies, and that was kind of their means of control. I don't know. I like that theory. It's weird, and it seems like something that would piss people off to say. That car is stressing me out slightly. I'm gonna let them go past me. Okay. Yeah, would give, LSD to the hippies and other psychedelic drugs as a way of some kind of subtle mind infiltration. I don't know. I really don't have much proof for this, but I always kind of thought it. And then I heard this one weird ass Dead Kennedys song. And that song, I don't remember what it was called. It was some really weird name though. Oh, it was Kinky Sex Makes the World Go Round. That was what the name of the song was. By the Dead Kennedys. And it wasn't really a song so much as it was like a phone call, I guess. I don't really know. But at one point he expresses, I guess, Jello Biafra, or the character he's playing. Maybe not him. Jello Biafra expresses that maybe that was what was happening. Oh, that's a dog barking. That might have been what was happening. And you know what? I don't think he's crazy. I think that's an entirely valid and logical explanation for why such drugs were popular at the time. And yeah. Anyways, yeah, no, that's my theory that I have. Is there any basis for it that I have? No, I have no basis for it. I just think it's, a possibly fun explanation. Maybe not that fun. It's not fun at all. A possibly fun explanation for why psychedelics were so popular. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever do psychedelics. I'd maybe do something else, but not like psychedelics. I don't know. Anyways, allegedly, by the way, this is all alleged. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I was gonna talk about punk rock because I have a lot to say about punk rock. So back in the 1970s, you have your first punk bands, right? But also at the same time you have some other things that are punk, like by some definitions of the word, but not really punk. I don't know. In my opinion, it feels wrong to call Marquee Moon a punk album. Marquee Moon was it came out before a lot of punk albums came out. I think it came out the same year as Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols. So, I could be wrong. Fact check me. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure Marquee Moon came out at the same time as Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols. And it came out of that New York CBGB's scene. So that light is flashing and it's really creepy. That there's a street light that's flashing. It's a little bit spooky. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I feel I just saw a tree that's red, white, and blue, and that reminds me of in my grandma's neighborhood, there's a tree that's decorated with red, white, and blue lights. And the thing is that I know it's intended to be the American flag, but it kind of just looks like the Russian flag. So me and my brother and my cousins will call it the Russia tree. And then we'll sing the U.S. national anthem to it. And then we'll also sing the Russian national anthem to it for good measure. Except we kind of sing it badly, and we kind of just end up humming it. because, fun fact about me, I tried to learn Russian when I was younger, but it didn't work out, and so now all I know is the alphabet and how to count to 100, which I'm going to come back to that later, because that was the other thing I was going to talk about, but I want to stay on track here, because I was talking about punk. So, anyways, yeah, I learned the alphabet, like the Cyrillic alphabet. Oh, that road is closed. Great, I need to turn around. Okay, I'm turning around. So, I walked too far, I guess. But, we would sing the Russian national anthem to it. We call it the Russia Tree. And we brought our little cousin to it recently. Taught him the elite ball knowledge that we all have in my family. But yeah, or I guess among just us cousins. But yeah, I don't know. That was a thing. Anyways, Marquee Moon. I feel like it's wrong to call Marquee Moon punk. Like, I don't know, it's too artsy and too well produced for me to consider it punk. Like, that's not like a demerit, of course. That's a kind of a good thing. That's a compliment. I mean that complimentary. But like, I don't know. Marquee Moon isn't really punk, but it came out of that scene. So you kind of like have to call it punk. Like, that's just what you call it. I don't know. But to me, it sounds more like I actually hate this genre name. It's the stupidest genre name in the world. Well, there are others that are stupid, like, what the fuck is vaporwave supposed to be? Someone please explain to me what the fuck a vaporwave is. Anyways, post-punk. I hate that genre name. It's dumb. Like, okay, post-punk. There's an implication there. There's some implications that we have. First implication is that it means that it came after punk. No, it didn't, because as I just established, like, 5 minutes ago, Marquee Moon came out at the same time as Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols. Like, they came out at the same time. So that's not post-punk. And I mean, it emerged from the same scene that New York punk emerged from. Marquee Moon emerged from... And I think one time I even tried to look it up or something. That street's closed too. What in the world? One time I tried to look it up or something. And, like, it was... The answer that it came up with was even more stupid. It said proto-post-punk. That is the dumbest... Oh my god. Ugh. I need not crash out over this. The dumbest thing... I thought that post-punk was a dumb genre name. Proto-post-punk. I've heard proto-punk before, and I think that's a kind of a silly thing to name your music, you know. Oh, it's proto-punk. That's kind of a silly thing to name your music. Okay. But it makes sense. Because it was kind of a retroactive genre, you know? Like, I don't think the New York Dolls knew they were proto-punk. I don't think they knew that. I don't think they knew what punk was. I'm going to get back to them later, by the way. Like, I don't think, you know, MC5 knew they were proto-punk. Like, I think they just thought they were doing rock and roll, you know? And, anyways, yeah, you have, like, this CBGB scene, and that's where, you know, television came from. And they get slapped with the label of post-punk, or even worse, proto-post-punk. And it's stupid. Because, like, again, it's it came out at the same time as other punk music, and it's dumb. I don't know. And the other thing too is that like post-punk means that the punk movement is over. Like, it implies that the punk movement is over. It's not at this point. It comes back in multiple forms. And then, don't even get me started with the fact that, like, then New Wave comes along, which is definitely inspired by television and Blondie and I guess the Cars. I don't know. Were the Cars early New Wave, or were they kind of already, or did New Wave already kind of exist? I don't know. The Cars and like the Talking Heads, I guess. Like, those were New Wave bands. They became New Wave bands, and then, but like New Wave kind of feels to me like a fusion between. It's like a more pop-oriented version of the punk sound, but it's not pop-punk. No. Pop-punk is Green Day. I don't know. I hate when they, like, label things with these really convoluted, stupid genre names. It's weird. I don't get it. Especially post-punk. Don't trick me. Just call it rock and roll. Oh my god, I sound like fucking Billy Joel, ew. No offense if you're a Billy Joel fan. No offense to Billy Joel, but I personally I don't really like the guy that much musically. I feel like you kind of hear Piano Man played at like a bar one too many times, you know. I don't know. No offense to Billy Joel. I'm sure some great artistry went into making all of those songs that he made. But, but yeah, television, definitely not punk in the sense that, like, I don't know, the Ramones are punk. But then the Ramones kind of just became pop. Like, and I think that just might be because, like, the public got used to punk, and we're just like, oh, let's sing Blitzkrieg Bop at all of our, sports events, I guess. That's the ultimate sports event song. Like, hi, oh, let's go. Hi, ho, let's go. Yeah, I don't know. It's sports event music now. Sorry, the Ramones. You've been reduced to sports event music. Anyway, I don't know. But, yeah, television, they were more like art rock, I feel like. Oh, there's a person. Is that two people? I think it's two people. I'm crossing to the other side of the street. I'm armed this time, actually. I have a pocket knife. Anyways. Yeah, television. I did a review on the album Marquee Moon. If you guys want to hear it, ask me. I'd love to read it to you guys. But generally, one of my favorite albums of all time. Okay, this is really... But, yeah. I don't know what's going on, and I feel like I'm interrupting them. Anyways. Walking a little faster now. Yeah, good album. Another album that I think is interesting, similar scene, similar vibe, is Horses. Which, like, I just found out today that Patti Smith is still around and still doing music, which is kind of cool. I don't know, I'd love to see her. Like, I'd really love to see her. I loved Horses when I first listened to it. Oh, a cat. I can't really see it, but it's white. It's a white cat. I saw some cats yesterday. But yeah, horses is a weird, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, did you ever read The Naked Lunch? I don't know. I feel like the song, what was the last song called Land, I think was what it was called, on the album Horses. I feel like that song kind of gives The Naked Lunch to me a little bit. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's like it's the weird, like, the weirdness of it. It's surreal, and it's probably about H. I don't know. Horses. Weird music. Oh, yeah. I was talking about that the other day. Yeah. No, the other thing I was going to talk about was, the New York Dolls. So I also was doing some research earlier. I was, like, trying to figure out, like, did punk in the UK and punk in the US, like, they kind of came up around the same time. Did they have common influence? Or, like, did they just coincidentally, is it like a case of convergent evolution where they both were just born out of similar circumstances, but just in different places, you know? Was it like a situation like that where they both just ended up looking the same but have different DNA? And turns out it's a mix of both. Like, cause I was thinking about it. I was listening to The Damned earlier, and I was like, holy shit, this sounds exactly like that one song, Teenage Lust by MC5. Not to be confused with the completely different song, also called Teenage Lust by the Jesus and Mary Chain. Oh, that car is going really fast. Not to be confused with the song called Teenage Lust by the Jesus and Mary Chain. Teenage Lust by MC5. That sounds so similar to the song New Rose. And I was like thinking about it, I'm like, no, there's no way that UK punk didn't evolve out of the American stuff. And I was like researching it, and I was like, okay, well, let's see, the Sex Pistols, who were their influences? And I was thinking, like, the Sex Pistols could not have possibly be at all influenced by, like, the Velvet Underground directly anyways. Like, that just feels wrong to me. Like, I can't physically can't hear it in their music. Even though they were proto-punk, they more inspired the New York stuff, you know? And I was thinking that, I'm like, no, couldn't have been them. And then I was like, oh, the New York Dolls. Holy shit. AKA the dumbest band of all. I love them. This is with all respect. This is with all due respect that I say this. The New York Dolls make some really stupid music. They're all dead now. Oh, no, they're all dead now. I need to put some respect on their names. They made some really stupid music, but, like, in the best way possible. Like, they made stupid music in the way that the Sex Pistols made stupid music. It's stupid, but, like, that's not a bad thing. That's completely a compliment and 100% a good thing. So yeah, like, I don't know. Oh, there's someone under here. You know, I'm gonna leave them alone. I really am worried I'm, like, disturbing people with this, but I don't know. Hopefully they can get their rest. But I don't know. I think it's stupid, but in a good way. Like, like, I don't know. I sung the song Personality Crisis at karaoke recently, and it was just a ton of fun, you know? Everyone loved it. It was a hit. Of course it was. That's a fun song. It's dumb, but it's fun, you know? Dumb in the best way possible. And so when I say that that's a dumb band with dumb music, I mean that in a good way. I don't know how to explain it, but I mean that in a good way. Like, their lyrics are so stupid and so simple. And, like, at the same time, super influential. Like, where would music be today without MC5 and the New York Dolls and... Great, now I can't think of any other... I feel like the Ramones can kind of fall into that category just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. But yeah, like... I don't know. And then... That's the other thing, too. Like, I was listening to... We're back to Mr. Lou Reed here with this, but I listened to a live version of I'm Waiting for the Man, and great song. Love that song so much. It's great, you know. It's, I would argue, probably one of the first punk songs ever. All the way back in, 1967? And, yeah, I listened to a live version of that recorded in, 1984, and I was like, oh my god, this sounds remarkably, I'm gonna link it in the description, this sounds remarkably similar to the Talking Heads. And I was like, whoa. And then I was thinking about it, I'm like, the Talking Heads were definitely influenced by, the Velvet Underground and, Lou Reed and all that. That definitely had some influence there. And I don't know. I think it's kind of cool when, bands that influenced other bands then, do something in a style that's similar to the band they influenced, you know? And I've seen other examples of this for sure. I just can't think of them. But, you guys definitely know what I'm talking about. You guys tell me some examples you've seen, because I like that, and it's fun. It brings me much joy. You know, it feels like... Oh, my other example of this is a very unconventional example, and it's kind of, funnily enough, going back to the Naked Lunch. One of my favorite jokes is... Lou Reed could have easily written The Naked Lunch, but William Burroughs could have never written Heroin. I don't know. I like to say that sometimes, just because it's funny. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I don't even remember what I was saying. Yes. The punk movement. I don't know. I feel like, because the thing is that they definitely, it's a convergent evolution type of thing, I really feel like. Because also, the New York scene of punk was not as political, I feel like. It was political, but, the UK scene was more political, but also much simpler, much more DIY. Very clearly inspired by those, 60s garage kind of bands that popped up in the UK in the 60s, you know? The Trogs or whatever, the guys that made Wild Thing, You Make My Heart Sing, those guys. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like that's my rant about punk. It was a long one. That was most of the walk. But yeah. And then the other thing, I was gonna go back to this, but I remembered it because it was me talking about learning Russian. Yeah, I learned Russian in middle school, or tried to. I tried to learn Russian in middle school. I didn't learn much. I really didn't. I don't remember much of it at all. And I think I still maybe know how to count. Odin, Dva, Tri, Sichiri. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I don't know. I learned a little bit of Russian back in middle school, and I remember like years later when I was like maybe 16, I read. Ooh, the road is loud. When I was like 16, I read Clockwork Orange for the first time, and I was watching one of those videos that was like, top 20 cult classic movies that you need to watch. One of those videos. And fucking Clockwork Orange was listed on there. I have my thoughts about that movie. I really do. And I'm going to talk about it. You best believe it. But I remember how useful it was, knowing the tiny amount of Russian that I knew. And at some point I got into this weird phase where I was like obsessed with learning Cockney rhyming slang. So it worked out so well to know Cockney rhyming slang and a tiny bit of Russian for the sake of Anthony Burgess's weird-ass language that he created for that book. But yes. Anyways, the movie A Clockwork Orange. I have my feelings about that movie. I don't like it. It smells like tires, but also kind of like pasta. What the fuck? That's a weird smell, and I don't know if I feel good about it. It just smells like tires now. Oh god. Anyways, now it kind of smells like soup. Am I losing my mind? Why does this happen? Why do I get distracted by things so easily? Anyways, the movie A Clockwork Orange is dumb. And that, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it's dumb. I think, okay, Kubrick... I have a very interesting relationship with Kubrick, because I remember when I was like maybe 10, I tried to watch 2001 A Space Odyssey. I tried to watch 2001 A Space Odyssey when I was 10, and I like fell asleep. It was super boring, and the thing was too, is I was expecting it to be really profound, but I remember at the beginning of the movie, they had that opening sequence that was like 30 minutes long, and then there was another 15-minute long sequence, and it was just watching the space station floating around. And that didn't even matter later on. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna have a gun on stage, it better be fired, right? I actually don't agree with that. I don't agree with Chekhov's piece of advice there. Sometimes the gun says enough itself without it needing to be fired. But still, they didn't need 15 minutes of that. That's just gratuitous. And so, I didn't like the movie 2001 A Space Odyssey. I think I eventually decided to give it another chance, though, when I was maybe like 13. And I remember hating it still. I thought it was boring. I thought it was, like, pretentious. And it was good looking, but I felt like it was just... There was a lot of just gratuitous, like, we threw this in there because we thought it would look deep and really pretty. And I don't know. I think Kubrick doesn't get enough shit for how he does that. And I think, I don't know, people hype him up too much. And then moving forward, the next Stanley Kubrick movie that I watched was Barry Lyndon. At this point, I would have been maybe 15. I think I was 15 when I watched Barry Lyndon. And I remember I watched it. People are going to think this is blasphemy and get mad at me for this, but I don't care. Stay mad. I watched it on my phone like 30 minutes at a time. I watched it on my phone 30 minutes at a time. And so I had like 6 Barry sessions, I called them. Where I would sit down for 30 minutes, consume 30 minutes worth of Barry Lyndon and then do whatever I wanted to do after that. Just because I felt like I needed to watch the movie, because I heard it was just a good movie. And I actually didn't hate it. But, like, also, how can you make a duel? There were multiple duels in that movie, and all of the duels were very boring. Like, mind-numbingly boring. How can you make a duel... How can you make a duel boring, Stanley? How the fuck can you do that? How can you take a inherently thrilling activity and make it boring? I don't know. But I kind of resent Mr. Kubrick for that. I think that's dumb. And then, like, also, random shots of topless women for no reason. Is that really necessary? Stan? Is that really, like, that movie's PG, too. Like, he threw that in there because he was like, I got a reputation to keep up. Boobs, tits, you know, just throwing them in there for no reason other than to, I don't even remember what the context was. I just remember there were boobs. But you can watch Barry Lyndon for free on YouTube. If you have 3 hours to kill, and you have, like, nothing else to do, it's kind of a nice, like, atmosphere movie. Like, I feel like I could totally, like, watch that while high, you know? Like, if I really wanted to just absorb the vibes and needed something, like, that was just stimulating enough for me not to just pass out, you know, I would turn to Barry Lyndon, I think. But I don't know. I heard someone yelling just now. I don't know. I don't feel great about that movie, but I don't hate it, and I can't say it's, like, bad. And then comes Clockwork Orange. I hate that movie. Especially when compared to the book, which I know that's a bad idea to compare the movie and the book. Like, don't do that because, you know, obviously they're different. But I'm kind of weird about movie adaptations of books. I feel like the rule is it needs to either super closely follow the book, like perfectly follow the book, or like be kind of a reinterpretation of the book. And the second one only works sometimes. Like, I remember Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol did his own weird kind of pseudo Clockwork Orange type of thing. I really couldn't call it that. In fact, I kind of didn't realize it was supposed to be an adaptation of it until I was kind of in the middle of watching it. And I think I watched that like when I was maybe 16 or so. But it was before I watched the Kubrick one. But that movie, it's called Vinyl. That movie is free on YouTube. Go ahead and watch it. It's weird. It's a trip. I'll definitely put the link in the description. But yes, I hope I'm not disturbing that person. It's interesting because it's definitely like very loosely inspired by it. And like, I don't know. It's, yeah, very loosely inspired, but still you can tell that it's based on, you know, it's the same story. Juvenile delinquent gets brainwashed into being a good little boy, but then he's not the same person, or whatever. That was a gross oversimplification, but yeah, Andy Warhol did a good job with that. I have my own thoughts about Andy Warhol. I don't really like... that car scared me. I don't really like Andy Warhol as a person. I think his stuff is pretentious, and I don't know. But as an adaptation, I think Vinyl, if it was, and I think it was intended to be an adaptation of A Clockwork Orange, pretty good. However, Stanley Kubrick's version, um, first of all, those two shared the same opening shot. Like, I think maybe Kubrick might have watched Andy Warhol's version of it, but Kubrick omits the ending of the book just completely, and I feel like that changes the meaning of the story almost. And like, the original ending, spoiler alert for something that's been out for 50, 60 years, the original ending of A Clockwork Orange ends with Alex kind of like just chooses to just stop being violent. Like, he's just like, I'm bored of this. And like, I don't know. I kind of think there's something about that ending that's like, oh, that's really, like, I don't hold an anti-therapy belief, but I do feel like kids should be allowed to grow, if that makes sense. And like, I feel like that kind of goes with that philosophy. It's like, literally, he just needed to grow up. Sure, he was violent, and that's the issue. That's where it complicates it. But, like, he just needed to grow up. He didn't need to be, violently conditioned. And I think I kind of like that, because it's like, a lot of the time, like, I have borderline personality disorder. That's something about me. And I feel like I was not really given adequate room to grow, and adequate room to make mistakes because of that. And I feel like, an important thing to know about, mentally ill, or in some cases violent kids, is that there is a chance they'll grow out of it. And like, that sucks, but that's just the reality of it. There is a chance they'd grow out of it. That's why you wait to diagnose people with antisocial personality disorder until they're 18, which is also a weird age. I don't understand why 18 is like the age of majority. That makes no sense. Like, what's different between 17 and 18? I don't know. I think 21 makes sense. I think like 16 to 18 makes sense. I feel like it should be more up to like situationally, I don't know. I don't know. I have my feelings about that. I think it's a weird thing that 18 is the magical age where, like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go based on like maturity, you'd have to choose a different age, like 21 or something, or 26 when the brain is developed. But that's my opinion on it. IDK. But yeah, like, I think it's weird to me that movie that it just cut out the ending completely and like changed it. But the other thing too that I don't like about it is that a lot of Kubrick's version of A Clockwork Orange felt very much like, a lot of it felt gratuitous to me. Like, just like they added it in to be edgy, And then Eyes Wide Shut. I have to talk about Eyes Wide Shut now because I also watched that. I really have feelings about that movie. And it's been a long time since I watched it because I know that if I watched it again, I'd get pissed off and hate it. But, spoiler alert, the last word in that movie is fuck, and I find that really funny. But, like, Nicole Kidman says it. Also, I can't see Nicole Kidman without thinking of that AMC ad. We come to this place for magic. We come to AMC theaters to laugh, to cry, to care, because we need that. All of us. That thing. I always think of that now whenever I see her. So, I don't know. That's another thing. But I didn't like that movie because, again, it was another situation of... I read the short story that it was based on, called, like, Dream Story or whatever. It was, like, a German book. I read the short story it was based on, and... good lord. I didn't like it. And the reason I didn't like it was because... I didn't like the movie because it was very different from the short story. Oh, that was the other thing. Like, in the original book of A Clockwork Orange, the scene in the movie where he has, like, a threesome with two girls, you know. In the book, it was much more sinister. They were, like, little kids in the book. And he, like, drugs them. So, I don't know. They, like, tone him down in some places, and in some places they, like, age him up. And it feels wrong to me, and it feels weird, and I don't feel that great about it. But, I don't know. Anyways, back to Eyes Wide Shut, and how dumb a movie that is. Like, because, again, they do a similar thing. There's, in the book of the Dream Story book, or short story, I guess, not book. In that short story, it was like very clearly, there was a scene where there's this girl who's a prostitute, and she's very clearly like a kid, and she's very clearly living in poverty. And in the movie, they turn her into, like, you know, like a grown adult in a comfortable living situation, and then she gets, like, AIDS or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. I think the new setting, I just don't like it. I don't like how they make it. Instead of... The book was a thriller with, like, you know, the sort of weird sex cult mystery going on as well. Like, that was just part of the mystery, was that there was a weird sex cult. But, like, the movie just turns it into, like, an erotic sort of situation. And I feel like that was just a thing in the 90s. Like, it was a thing where every movie had to include, like, a lot of sex. And I don't know, that kind of saddens me a little bit, because I feel like there was potential, but then they just went and made it like, you know. And then the worst part of it too, I've seen so many people online saying, like, oh, the ending of that movie was so confusing, the ending of Eyes Wide Shut was so confusing, but the original short story it's based on leaves the ending ambiguous. The movie decides not to. The movie decides to just have that one guy explain the weird sex cult thing. Like, I don't know. It's dumb. And, like, I don't know. I'm angry about it, and I need not be, because it really doesn't matter, and it's not that deep. But to me, it is that deep. But yeah. There's something else I was going to talk about. Oh, yes. The other thing that I was going to talk about is something I don't quite understand. And it's the fact that, like, I feel like people forget that, like, there was media a long time ago involving trans people. Like, I don't know. I think people forget that. And, like, I'm gonna suggest, so this is just gonna be a bunch of suggestions. My trans friends in the audience, you may consume these, you may decide not to. I don't know, whatever. But at least you can use them as a way to be like, to your uncle at Thanksgiving. No, you were jamming out to the song Lola by the Kinks back in 1970. I don't know. You have no reason to be complaining. But my favorite example is the song, oh, there's a person, I'm gonna walk away, is the song Candy Says by the Velvet Underground from their self-titled album Without Nico, which I talked about last night. Briefly, but I talked about it. Great song. Love it. It's like kind of one of the rare gentle Velvet Underground songs. Which I'm going to talk more about gentle music after this because I had another train of thought that just came into my mind. But yeah, Candy Says by the Velvet Underground. Great song. It's like it's gentle. And it feels very like I don't know, but like the lyrics, the Candy Says, I've come to hate my body and all that it requires in this world. All that it requires in this world, that goes so hard, like so insanely, like, because like, I've come to hate my body. That's like what you always think, like, oh, trans people hate themselves. And then the other line complicates it, and all that it requires in this world, that complicates it. And it's like, oh no, it's not your body, it's everyone's expectations of what your body should be. That's deep. That's so deep. And this was made in 1969. Like, that's deep. Guys, I don't know. I'm very excited about this. The other one is one also, funnily enough, by them, called, and this one's not as heavy of a recommendation. This one's just a song that I've been very obsessed with recently. Lady Godiva's Operation. I don't know, it's like, it's that one's dark. That one's really dark. So if you're not in the mood to like feel like you're getting a lobotomy, maybe don't listen to that one. Although I do have a complaint. The fact that like the anesthesia stops working and then like the protagonist, the titular Lady Godiva who gets her operation done, wakes up and starts like screaming in agony. That doesn't make sense because of brain surgery. First of all, you're usually not under anesthesia for those. You're under like local anesthesia. They usually keep you awake for brain surgeries because you can't feel the brain and they want to make sure that you don't fucking die. I don't know. I don't know. That's my thought about it. But I do think it's really messed up and creepy how you got, I want to say it's Sterling Morrison whispering into your left ear you're not a girl, you're not a girl. That's creepy and messed up and I love it. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. And then there's another one that I had in mind and I forgot it. Another transgender song that I had in mind that isn't about being lobotomized, because I don't think that's really what you guys want to hear about right now. I know I wouldn't. But yeah, I do think though people should like consider that gender was always complicated and not like, oh, it was better in my day. And I'm not trying to be performative here. Like, this genuinely is something that, like, I'm weirdly passionate about, Because, like, I don't know. I want to be able to express myself the way I want to express myself. And, like, I'm sure everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves that privilege. And I don't know. But, yeah. And then there was one other thing I was going to talk about, but I'm not sure. Oh well. You know what? You'll hear about it another time. But yeah, let me know if you want this to become like a series that I do, because I really enjoy doing this. And I'm sure you guys probably enjoy hearing this. I don't know. I hope you guys do. But yeah, let me know if you want this to be made into a series, and I will happily do it. I'm back at my apartment now, so I'm saying goodbye. But I will see you guys later. Bye!